Hello there everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. Today we're going to be making a couple of Thanksgiving or fall type cards. And we're going to talk about what we're using. This is the really cute Hap-pie Day. It's got our stamps and dies. I've used that one before. We also have our coffee mug card, so it comes with these three dies. And then we have the cocoa mug add-on. So we're going to be using both of those. I'm going to show you two. Well, one's pretty simple. The other one we're going to turn into a shaker because yes, why not? So I'm going to ink up the pumpkin pie stamp. I'm going to stamp that one 2 times using some Blackout ink from Ink on 3, and we're going to stamp that onto some Express It cardstocks. I do want to do a little alcohol marker coloring. Then I'm going to clean up my stamp and I'm going to put that ink away, and I'm going to grab out some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. The other ink would have been just fine, but I like how crisp and black this ink is. Now you can't use this ink for alcohol marker coloring because it will bleed for sure. So that's why I'm not using that for both. So I'm going to put my colors up on the screen for you. I'm using Olos. I'll start with our pie crust. I'm using Y0 2.5 for that pie crust. And this was so much fun. It actually really made me feel like I was ready for some pumpkin pie today. I don't know about you. I don't know what your favorite pie is. I would love to know what your favorite pie is. Mine is actually not pumpkin. I do really like pumpkin pie, but my favorite, if I had to pick between this or any of those other potential holiday pies, it would be pecan, hands down. Now, I grew up in a family where actually 2 of my uncles managed village inns, and if you're from the Midwest, you know what that is, but they worked their way up from the bottom all the way up to managing those stores. And so every holiday we would have a variety of pies, not just pumpkin, not just pecan. We would have the coconut cream, we'd have the berry pies. They would bring home like 6 or 7 pies, and oh, it was just like, it was amazing. And so I thought everybody ate like that. Clearly not the case, but so now it's, especially since I'm older, I can't have that kind of pie all the time. So for our holidays, especially Thanksgiving, it's usually just pumpkin and maybe a pecan, maybe. So there it is. I've colored those up. They're good to go. They look nice and delicious. And I'm going to add just a little bit of some warm gray to the whipped cream on top because, yeah, add a little bit of shading to that as well. And then we're going to bring in our matching dies. Obviously, you don't need to have these, but I do love how those dies will work right around all of the sentiments. I just think that's super cute. And so I stamped out Keep Your Eye on the Pies because I thought those would be so perfect for the front of a card. Well, a cup card for sure, like a coffee mug. I was thinking that would be perfectly motivational during the holidays for sure, to keep your eye on the pies. And so they just went well together. I'm going to work on doing a little bit of ombre inking at the very bottom of these. I've die cut both of these cups out of different colors of like orange cardstock that I had in my stash. And then I brought in this ink, just this light orange ink, and I'm going to blend it all across the bottom and then kind of bring that color up for both of these cards. So you can see that one of those orange cardstocks is a little bit darker than the other. And then I do have the piece that's going to be the outside of our shaker, so I'm going to do the same thing with that so we have some cohesion there. I'll clean up my mess because I don't want that orange all over because I need to work in some other colors and also, you know, just don't want that color on there. And I'm going to bring in some dark brown, and I'm going to blend those in with my blending buddy as well. So looks like I hit it hard there, but that's one of the things I really like about these blending buddies is that they do such a good job of blending the color that yes, you might have gotten some dark on one end, but it usually ends up working itself out with those brushes. I went ahead and die cut out all the pieces that I needed to make these cards. And again, that used the coffee mug card, which has 3 dies in it. It's going to have your coffee mug. It's going to have the top of your coffee, like right there. And it's also going to have this inside piece, which is, and you'll see it later, it's for, you could put it on the inside of your card to hold a gift card. These other pieces all come from the cocoa mug add-on. And so I'm going to just add a little blending to our caramel drizzle. Went through my stash to find a color that I thought would match well there. And then I did the same thing for that piece that's going to go on the whipped cream, kind of like it was drizzled over the top of the whipped cream. And I'm kind of trying to figure out how that's going to go on top of there, if I want to cover up all the coffee, but I don't. So I was just working around with that. And then I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to hold the piece of drizzle, and we'll just use little dots of glue, and then we can adhere this down to the top of our whipped cream. It just looks so cute. I love it. And then I screw up here. I add it to the top, but as I'm trying to add it to the top, I end up just adding glue all over the back, like not even paying any attention that I don't need glue all over that. I literally only need it on the bottom portion. So I'm like, oh, well, that was a mistake. Oh, well. So I'll clean up my mess, and then I can kind of wipe that ink off of there. And if it ends up being sticky, you can use your anti-static powder tool to get rid of that stickiness. I did adhere down the gift card holder on the inside. Notice that when I put the glue on there, I completely avoided those tabs. You need to avoid the tabs with your glue so that they can hold the gift card, because if you glue them down, you're not going to be able to put a gift card in there. Now I'm bringing in some adhesive foam strips. We're going to put those on the back of both our sentiment and our pie, and I'll peel off the release paper on that, and then I can stick those down on top of the mug. It's just so cute. What a motivational piece for the beginning of the day when you're drinking your coffee. You know, keep your eye on the pies. I did bring in this turkey trot, these embellishments from Trinity stamps, and they're all clay. So you've got a couple different kinds of turkeys in there. And then you have these little hearts that are brown and orange. I end up only using the hearts on this one. I'm going to save the turkeys for the inside of our shaker because I wanted this one to be fairly simple. And it's definitely a very easy mailer because this will fit into an A2 size card just fine. But check that out. Isn't that cute? So now we'll move on. I'll show it to you again in the end. But now we're going to move on to making our shaker card. So I'm going to glue down my coffee to the top piece there. And then we'll do the same process of the drizzle with the whipped cream. And then I'll do a little bit better job here of only putting glue where I need it to adhere down my whipped cream. And then I do need to add some acetate to the back of this. So I did cut it into a rectangle, but obviously my coffee mug has rounded edges. So I am eventually just going to have to trim that down. But we're once again going to glue down our gift card holder to the inside. Again, avoiding those tabs, because if you glue them down, then you're not going to be able to put your gift card into there. So here's my piece of acetate. I just trimmed it down to fit behind there. And then I'm just going to put some liquid glue all around the edge. You can use maybe a double-sided adhesive if you want. I like liquid glue because it just stays put. If you don't put too much on there, you don't have to worry about it squishing out of the sides, which I didn't have any problem with. Just so long as you use a very thin line, you should be fine. Okay, and so then I'm going to flip this over and I'll use my scissors just to trim off the excess of that acetate. You know, round up my edges. And then we'll be ready to adhere down some of those double-sided adhesive strips. Those work for this too. Now, I didn't get mine on there perfectly straight, as you'll see, so you do end up seeing a little bit of the white. It doesn't bother me. But yes, so I'm going to use the adhesive foam strips on the back, and they'll work fine. And then once I get those completely covered, I can peel off the release paper of those. Since I'm using some thicker clay bits, I'm not quite as worried about my corners or my edges being really butted up against each other. It's not quite as important. But if you were using some glitter or something like that, you would definitely want to make sure that everything was nice and butted up together. I'll pour my shaker bits right down on top of the card, and then I'm going to peel off the release paper of all of those adhesive foam strips. And then once those are done, we can adhere this down to the front of our card. It's super addictive to make these shakers, so I feel like I could do these for all the holidays. Make some really cute Christmas ones, Valentine's ones, however. But I like how that turned out. I think that's really cute. And the shaker bits, you know, you got to play with the shaker bits. All right, so then I do have my little caramel drizzle. And so I'm going to use my blending buddy on that, just with the leftover ink that I already have on it, just to kind of add a little bit of depth to our caramel drizzle. And then I'm going to use my liquid glue to adhere that down to the front of our card in the same spot that I did the other one. This time though, I am not going to be adhering down my sentiment and my piece of pie with foam tape, because we already have foam tape on there. That would just make it really bulky, and so I don't want to do that. So we're just going to use liquid glue for those as well. And we're going to do the same process of putting them on in the same spot, basically. So cute. And I'm excited to use these this fall. So once I get this adhered down, that's actually going to end up finishing off both of these cards. I had so much fun putting these together. Just even coming up with the idea was super fun. And I think you could do them for the other piece of pie as well. Make a cherry pie, make a blackberry pie, or a blueberry pie, or strawberry, or whatever you want to make. You could have fun with this. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that Trinity Stamps has going on over on their blog, Facebook page, and Instagram for more crafty inspiration. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.